Jimin had just set foot in the United States after completing his military service, and the world was holding its breath waiting for the most emotional moment it could have been, his reunion with Jungkook. But something disturbing just happened. Jimin did not appear with Jungkook. Even more than that, he dodged.
Why?
What's really going on? Was this just an accident? Or was there something bigger, darker, that had been hidden all along? A new mystery begins. And a painful question arises. Did Jungkook already know that Jimin would not see him in the first place? Did you feel the same feeling when you saw the video welcoming Jungkook and Jimin on their release day? Are you also waiting, with bated breath and heart beating fast, the moment when two figures who have been separated by the obligations of the country will be reunited, smiling, laughing, patting each other on the shoulder, maybe even hugging amid the cheers of the army that never tired of waiting? But then everything fell apart because of that moment. Never came. Not a single camera captured Jimin standing next to Jungkook at the airport. There is no photo of them walking hand in hand in the hallway of the international terminal. Not even a single post, either from the media or fans, indicated that Jimin and Jungkook were in the same location, even though they were discharged from the military on the same day. I ask, this just a coincidence? Or there is something much deeper? Who are they trying to cover up? And even more surprising, Jimin reportedly left the area immediately without a word about Jungkook. Even in small interactions, he chooses silence. There was no "I miss him" greeting like he had thrown in last year's video.
No sweet greeting.
There is no nostalgia. Just shut up. The question now haunts all ARMY who had believed that Jimin and Jungkook had an inseparable bond. Even the media began to dig backwards. And one by one, even barely visible pieces of the puzzle began to surface. Jungkook, in his last interview before enlisting in the army, once said softly, "I don't know what will happen after all this, but I hope everything stays the same." The sentence seems simple, but when revisited, is that a sign that Jungkook realizes something has changed? Could it be that they had quarreled before leaving? Or is there a message that never arrives? An internal source from their close environment, who did not want to be named, revealed that before the departure, there was an intense conversation between the two. A conversation that, according to the person, left a wound on one of them. Who's hurt? No one knows for sure, but many suspect that the words uttered that night were too frank, too sharp, and irrevocably. I ask that why Jimin chose not to see Jungkook after his enlistment. Is that why Jungkook seems to be alone, even though he says they went out together? Even more shocking was Jungkook's expression as he walked through the crowd at the airport. Although his smile remained present, there was a missing highlight in his eyes. The usual highlight came whenever he knew Jimin was nearby. No waving to each other, no meaningful looks. As if there is a distance that they deliberately create. But why? Aren't they inseparable soulmates? The army wondered, and start looking for clues. One of the short videos that went viral showed Jimin getting out of the van with a tense expression. His face was covered with a mask, but his gaze could not lie. There's a load there. Something's on hold. And oddly enough, the car that carried it was not part of the main entourage. Why did Jimin come in a different vehicle? Why not with Jungkook? And even more surprising, after arriving, Jimin immediately shied away from the public area towards a private place. No interaction with the media. No greeting to fans. Just disappeared, as if he knew that the meeting would not take place, or as if he made sure the meeting didn't happen. Suspicions began to appear. Part of the army began to re-uncover archived videos and past interviews. Some find clues that have been missed so far. For example, when Jimin and Jungkook did their last live broadcast before enlistment, there was a moment where Jungkook was seen holding back tears as Jimin said, "We will all change after this." Was it a prophecy or a warning or a decision? Behind all this silence, a much more painful question arises. Is their friendship no longer what it used to be? Are there any misunderstandings that have not been resolved? Or even more tragic, is this all part of a grand plan designed to preserve the image while hiding the truth? The fact that Jimin said nothing about Jungkook in his post-draft statement only reinforces that suspicion. Even in a short message uploaded to Weverse, Jimin simply said, "Thank you for waiting. I'm back."
Point.
Nothing more. No less, the army began to divide. Some believe this is just a temporary misunderstanding. Some believe this is the result of agency pressure. But there are also those who dare to speculate further, that there is pain among them that cannot be restored only with time. How could two best friends who went through so much together, from debut, global success, tears, laughter, wounds, to the last concert before the hiatus, suddenly distance? Was this all part of HYB's secret plan? Did the agency know long ago that they wouldn't be performing together? The sad thing is that, to this day, there is no clarification. Not from Jungkook, not from Jimin, not from HYB. And it is precisely in the midst of that silence that rumors flourish, creating a scenario that tears the hearts of millions of fans who want only one thing: clarity. Maybe Jimin didn't feel ready to meet. Perhaps Jungkook was too disappointed to say hello first. Or maybe they're just waiting for the right time. But time goes on, and their silence is now beginning to feel like an answer. Not because they don't care, but because something has changed permanently. The most painful question is now echoing among fans. Is this the end of the Jungkook we've all believed in? In the glittering shadows of the stage and the light of the camera, we often forget that they are also people with wounds, conflicts, and unpredictable emotions. And maybe it's time for us to accept that even though their relationship isn't what it used to be, the affection may remain, only in a different form, until they talk, until they explain. We can only guess and wait, with a heart that doesn't know how to hope or prepare to break. Hours after the video of Jimin's arrival in the United States was released, armies around the world began to pour out their disappointment and confusion on social media. Why didn't he unite with Jungkook? It's a question that haunts almost all uploads on X, formerly Twitter, Weverse, even in YouTube comments. Those who had previously counted down the days until the moment of discharge were faced with the reality that they had never imagined.
No hugs.
No eye contact.
No interaction.
At all point, one of the viral army comments reads, "If it's just about schedules or logistics, why does Jimin feel like he's harboring wounds?" Another commented more sharply, "I've never seen Jungkook this quiet." It's as if he's hoping for something to happen, but what comes instead is nothingness. And behind all that, there is one piece of video that is now a source of great mystery. The 7-second clip shows Jimin getting into a black vehicle after landing. But it wasn't his car that caught the eye. It was Jimin who looked away when one of the reporters called out Jungkook. In slow motion, Jimin's expression was visible surprised. But not just in shock. More like someone who wants to escape from something that's too painful to deal with. Is Jungkook's name a wound to him now? What really happened during their 18 months apart? Going back in time, on the last night before they were conscripted, there was one moment of the live broadcast that fans are now reviewing. At that time, Jungkook said, "There are things that I can't reveal right now, but you'll find out someday." These words are never given context. Even then, fans just took it as a general message about BTS's hiatus. But now, everything feels different. Could it be that the sentence was a warning of the emotional distance that was beginning to be created between him and Jimin? HYB herself has not issued an official statement on why Jimin and Jungkook are not performing together. But the observant army found discrepancies in the schedule of activities. Jungkook is scheduled to attend an exclusive fitting in Los Angeles in the framework of his collaboration with Calvin Klein, while Jimin is rumored to be attending a closed-door meeting with a Korean-American music producer who previously worked on one of BTS's albums. But the schedule was drawn up after they completed military service. That is, the moment of arrival in the USA was supposed to be a neutral time, the most logical time for the reunion of these two best friends. However, why is it not happening? Is it really because of the schedule, or because of an unhealed heart? Meanwhile, Jungkook's reaction was no less emotional. In a live broadcast a few hours after landing, he greeted fans with a small smile, but in just 12 minutes, one of the shortest lives in his history, he turned off the camera. But before that, there was a moment where he stared at the camera for quite a while, as if he wanted to say something, but chose to be silent. The one sentence he eventually uttered, and now haunts many in the army, was, "Some things it would be better if they were not forced." The sentence is piercing. Did she talk about her relationship with Jimin? Is he trying to make room, or is he feeling left out? Jimin's whereabouts remained a mystery for almost 48 hours after his arrival in the US.
No pobre.
That night in Los Angeles, a city full of lights and the rumble of nightlife, an apartment in the West Hollywood area became a silent witness of something invisible to the public. Behind the tightly closed curtains of the window, a man sits alone. He wasn't smiling, he wasn't singing, and he wasn't recording for the fans. He just stared blankly at his phone screen. His fingers moved, opened the message screen, wrote a line, and then deleted it. Again and again, that man was Park Jimin, and on that night, he was nothing like the Jimin the world had known. A staffer who worked at the recording studio where Jimin had been seen hours earlier, on condition of anonymity, gave a statement that made the heart of anyone who heard it as if needed. He doesn't talk much. Did not bring anyone. When he entered the studio, he said only one thing. Don't bother me tonight. Please turn off all media notifications. The staffer added, but before she closed the door to the vocal room, I heard her say, I don't know what to tell him now. Him. What does it mean to be Jungkook? Army who heard this news began to make an emotional connection of its own. Jimin is in a deep dilemma. That does not mean he wants to stay away, rather that he is afraid to come closer. Fear of confrontation. Fear of guilt. Fear of the truth that may no longer be fixed. Some fans even recalled the moments Jimin used to always cry when talking about his difficult times. He is always the one who carries the emotional burden silently. He often hides his sadness behind a smile. But that night, the world seemed to know. That smile is gone. Meanwhile, Jungkook, who is staying at a different location, finally opened up a bit more about his condition through a second live, which was conducted the next day. But this time, his tone was audible, tired, and the words are slicing. I don't like to talk too much about feelings, but sometimes we expect others to stay, even if they have decided to leave. The speech was followed by a long silence. Then, suddenly, Jungkook played a familiar song in the ears of the army. The song is Promise, Jimin's solo song full of promise and hope. But that moment is not a form of support, rather like a quiet farewell. I asked it a hidden message. Is Jungkook was saying that promise? Isn't that happening? Some fans even speculated that the song was played not for nostalgia, but as a reminder that past promises no longer have the same meaning now. There was bitterness in the choice of the song. And when the live was over, Jungkook turned off the camera with one small smile, a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Meanwhile, the media began to feel the aroma of tension that had been kept tightly. But HYB still chooses silence. There is no clarification, no defense. There is no alternative narrative. Quiet, but the army did not remain silent. Dozens of fan sites began piecing together pieces of information, from their travel histories, last year's interactions, to the two's individual interviews. And one by one, they began to find common threads that made the hearts of fans beat insanely. A few months before enlistment, Jimin once said in a magazine interview, I'm afraid of losing connection with the people who are important in my life. Because of time, it can ruin a lot of things without realizing it. Now that sounds like a prediction, and time really changed everything. When fans checked Jimin's last post before enlistment, they noticed that none of the photos showed him with Jungkook. Even during the last concert, although they sang together, Jimin's expression on stage seemed more focused toward the audience than to Jungkook. I asked this an early sign. Has Jimin secretly been preparing for the distance? Or is he protecting himself from the disappointment he knows is coming? Even more slicing is a statement from one of BTS's longtime choreographers who had a chance to work with the two of them in 2021. In a now viral interview, he said, Jimin and Jungkook are very similar, but their difference is precisely in the way they deal with injuries. Jungkook fought back. Jimin shrugged. Now we see both injured, and each faces it in their own way. Jimin is gone. Jungkook is waiting. The world is staring, but the invisible and most painful is that maybe they actually still care about each other, but time and wounds have made them lose their way back. At 1:47 a.m. Los Angeles time, a former HYB staffer with an anonymous account leaked the contents of an encrypted message allegedly coming from the manager of the International Division's artist unit. The message was simple, short, but it hit like a hurricane. J wants to cancel the meetup with K. It's too soon. He's not ready. Don't push him. J and K, two initials that made all the armies speechless